Good morning. I'm Stampin' Dee Dee. I'm Deanna Blackman, and this is Stampin' Thursday, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. Thank you for being here, and I hope you've gathered the supplies that are listed. They're listed below this. They were listed yesterday. So anyway, I hope you've gathered those, and I hope you're going to make this card together with me, because it is a really interesting and easy card to make, and I think you'll enjoy it. All right, so let me see. Okay, I have a couple of people on. Let me know if you're watching. Just comment, say hi. If you're not from this area, let me know where you're from. And thank you for being here. And I hope you've gathered these supplies. If you haven't, there's not a whole lot you need to get together, and you could do that real quick. You need a piece of cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 11. And you're going to score this at 5 1/2. And you're going to need another piece of cardstock that'll be your mat, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. Then you need some basic white or very vanilla, whichever way you're going with your designer series paper, 3 3/4 by 5. And then your designer series paper, you need a 6 by 6 piece, and a coordinating cardstock 4 by 6. And then if you want, you could use a label, very vanilla or basic white label, small enough to fit on the front of your card, and you can put your image and your sentiment on that. The card I'm doing today, the sample I'm doing today, does not have that, but the first two I did do have that. So I wanted to put that on here because it's an easy way to mount your sentiment and whatever image you've chosen for the front of your card. And that's it. What I didn't include was the inside of the card, and you'll use very vanilla or basic white for that, with maybe a matte background. I didn't include that, but I'm sorry. Got a tickle. Hi, Kay. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right. So, are you going to make the card, Kay? I'm going to leave this up here for just a second, in case you're gathering your supplies. All right. I think we're going to get going. Kay, I hope you're making it. You'll like it. Yes, good. All right. So let's take our 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I used basic white for mine this time. And I'm going to burnish that really well and set it aside. Now for my mat, I chose, this is that Secret Sea. I love this color. I love it. I'm waiting. I had ordered the multi-pack, the in-color multi-pack, and that gives you, I don't remember, 2 or 3, let's see, 20. So it must give you maybe 4 pieces of each color, each of the in colors. Well, I have used up all of my pieces of the Secret Sea and almost all my pieces of the cloud cover. So I have really enjoyed, and I've used all of my strawberry slush. So I had early on ordered a package of strawberry slush cardstock. So now I've ordered a package of Secret Sea and Cloud Cover cardstock, and I'm waiting for that to come in. I like to order the multi-pack first to see which ones I really like to use, and it really helped with this. So, all right. So, I'm not going to put that down yet, though. We'll just set that aside. I want you to take your 6x6 piece of Designer Series paper. The coordinating cardstock that I chose is the Timid Tiger, and this is from the In Color Designer Series paper pack. And so the Timid Tiger is another one of the In Colors, and that's the colors I've chosen to use to design this card. Now you're going to need your paper trimmer. And we're going to start with the Designer Series paper. So you have a 6x6 piece. We're going to cut that into 1-inch strips. So we're just going to, we're going to do that. 1-inch strips. And I'll be able to get 6 1-inch strips from this. Okay, and I hope you're doing that. You're cutting your Designer Series paper into 1-inch strips. And that's going to give me my 6 pieces of paper. If you want to keep them in order, you can do that. That wasn't something I intended to do, but, you know, let's see. Let me see. So that one goes there. This one goes here. This one, yeah, I did. Oh, no, I didn't. That's not. It must be this one. Yeah. That one goes there. This one goes next, and then this one. I don't know that that makes a difference, but I did it this time. All right, now we're going to take our coordinating cardstock, our 4x6 piece of cardstock. I want you to be able to stay caught up with me as we go along. We're going to cut this 4x6 inch piece of cardstock into 1/4 inch pieces. So, and we're going to, I want it to be 1/4 by 6. So we're going to cut it into 1/4 inch pieces. So this is that coordinating piece of 4x6 cardstock. And we're cutting it into 1/4 inch pieces. Two, four. I don't think we need more than 6 of those either. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 should be enough. So you've got this much left. And if we have to cut another one, we will. All right, that's all of the cutting that we're going to do. And I'll wait a minute and give you a minute to finish up. So we have 6 pieces of 1-inch Designer Series paper, and we have 6 1/4 inch pieces of cardstock, coordinated cardstock. Okay. Giving you just a minute. catch up. Make sure you've got your cutting done. Are you ready, Kay? She's busy cutting. All right. All right, I'm going to get my adhesive, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal plus my Tombow. I'm going to use my Tombow for the thinner pieces and my Stampin' Seal for the 1-inch pieces. So, I'm going to take my first 1-inch piece. Let's see. Let me see how these were supposed to fit together. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take that, and we're going to put it right here. Get your white piece of cardstock, your 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of cardstock, and we're going to put our first piece right there in the corner. So I wanted you to see where it was going to go. So you're not going to need to put a whole lot of adhesive, just enough to cover that corner. And I'm going to put it right there. You want to be sure and cover that corner. There we go. So there's my first one. And it's going to stick to my glass mat a little bit, but that's okay. Maybe I'll put my silicone sheet out here. All right. Get your first piece down. And now we're going to take our first piece of cardstock, and it's going to go right here. So you can see, you know, and if you want to move it down some, you can. All right, I'm going to put my, I'm sure that's more than enough. And you want to make sure that it covers this edge. So be sure you get enough. If you moved it to the edge, be sure it covers this edge right here. You don't want any white showing. And smooth that down. And now we're going to take our next piece of cardstock, and you know, it wasn't going to match anyway because it was, yeah, it did. Yeah, it does. But it's not going to matter. All right, we're going to take our next piece of cardstock, and it's going to take up quite a bit more. So you want to make sure that you cover both edges here. You go all the way past the edge. So I'm going to add my adhesive almost from edge to edge. And it's going to go, let's see, if I want it to semi-coordinate, I can do that. Just make sure that it covers the edges. And I can see that I need to add a little more glue right there. Right there. Get that down. All right, now we're going to take another piece of cardstock, and it's going to take pretty much the whole thing. Pretty much. And put it down. Snug it up against your designer series paper. And we're going to go all the way down. And I'm just looking, you know, yeah, it's just, yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to take my next piece of cardstock, or designer series paper. And this is where you have to be careful. Down here, make sure it covers that edge right there. Okay. All right. Well, there. And just get it snug. Just make sure it covers this edge down here. Make sure it covers that corner. I can't tell if it's coming out. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And then we're going to use another piece of strip of cardstock. And again, it's going to pretty much take the whole thing. And put it down. And make sure it covers the edge. You'll want it to always go beyond the edge of your base. Okay. And then another piece of designer series paper. Now, see, if I were to match my pattern, which I'm not trying to do, but it would not cover the edge down here. If I were to truly try to match it, you see this little white piece here? It wouldn't be covering the edge. So, I'm going to make sure I scoot it down so that it completely covers the white. Okay, maybe a little more. Okay. Look at that. Another piece of cardstock. Getting smaller now. Pieces are getting smaller. Right there. And as you can see, when we add this last piece of cardstock or designer, you're going to have a little piece of the white showing right here, and we're going to take and we're going to cover that with our cardstock. So okay, and cover this. And then I'm just going to glue this little corner right here. I add glue to it. And cover it with my cardstock. And I want to hold that down so it adheres to it. Now, you should have yours all covered like this. And we have one piece left. You can use this on the inside of your card or on the envelope. All right, so now we're ready to take our white base, pull it up, turn it over, and we're going to trim. And I'm going to use my larger scissors for this. Now we're going to just trim right along the edge. Get all the sticky off. All the sticky paper. Trim this edge. Trim this edge. Looks like I need to get a little more right there. And the last edge. And looky there. Look at that awesome background that we have created. That's a little piece of sticky right there. Okay, looky there. Isn't that awesome? I just think that is so cool. So pretty. All right, I'm going to get rid of all my sticky pieces here while you're finishing up trimming yours. Silicone sheets are wonderful for that kind of activity. I wish I could see yours. I bet it's beautiful. I'll bet it is. All right. So now we're going to mount this on our mat that your 4 by 5 1/4 piece of mat. I see one little place. You want to make sure that your places or your edges are all glued down, and I have one little spot right there that needs to be glued. Did I get it? Yeah, I think I did. All right, so I'm going to glue this to my mat. Get it centered. Okay. Got that down. Now, at this point, if you want ribbon, and I hadn't decided totally what I was going to do yet. I did cut this out. And I thought I would just put it on the front because I wanted to use that piece and then put my sentiment over it. I could do that, and I could put some ribbon down at the bottom, a bow at the bottom. Maybe I'll do that. I think I'll get some ribbon. Okay. I think I'll just make a bow. Maybe I'll use white. I think the white would look better. And I'm just going to make a bow. While you're finishing up. So if you've got your label, put your image on your label and your sentiment. You can stamp your sentiment on the label. And any other embellishments that you may have. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get my snips. Okay, oops, trim my, all right. And I thought for my sentiment, I would emboss mine. You probably just have the white, which is fine, but I wanted to do something different with this one. So I'm going to emboss it with white. So I'm going to get my Versamark. When we emboss, here's my sentiment, feel better soon. And I'm going to ink it with Versamark ink. And I want it to be right here. And then I'm going to get my white embossing powder. And feel better soon. Doesn't take much. And then I'm going to get my heat tool. And I'm just watching for the magic. And I think it just occurred. Feel better soon. Okay. I think it is all set. Get the there's a little bit of the embossing powder right there. But you know what? That is all right. So I'm going to put that about there. And I'm going to banner this end. Just cut to the snip to the center. And then come back from both sides. Put my Versamark ink up. All right, I'm going to need dimensionals, because I'm going to put this on. Well, first of all, I better glue my image down, right? So I'm just going to put some right along the edge, and then the upper edges, the middle will kind of take care of itself. at the bottom. All right, that should do it. And I'm going to put it right here. Right there. I love this this dye. And it is, I think it's the Mixed Florals. Yeah. No, yeah. It's from the Mixed Florals stamp set and die set. And it's this die right here. And I've wanted to use that, and that's why I decided, okay, I'm going to use it on this card, one way or another. And I see little spots that I need to add a little bit of glue to. Right there. Well, there. All right. All right, I'm going to add my bow and my sentiment. My bow goes right there. My sentiment with dimensionals is going to go toward the top. Right here. Feel better soon. All right, that's our card front. And now we're going to put it on. The fun part of this card, though, is creating this background. The rest of it is just whatever you want to do to it. But creating the background to me was just so different and looked so good. Now, I don't have a piece for the inside. I'll do that later. But again, you've got your extra pieces that you can use. So there we have it. And if I wanted to add a gem, I would probably add one of the adhesive back sparkle gems. And let's see, where would I do that? I think I would put one right up here and then come down with the other two. There we go. There we have it. Feel better soon. I'm always needing a get well card. Always. All right, I hope you have gotten yours done. And I hope you like this technique. You know, you could really make a bunch of cards at one time by cutting the strips all together and forming it. So let me show you, while you're finishing up your card, let me show you a couple more samples that I did. This is the first one I did, and it was using the label, and I didn't even have an image for the front. I did put ribbon. I added a little bit of a few splatters of ink on the front, and yeah, and I haven't done anything else to the inside. So there was that one. So this was the first paper I used, and I just thought that turned out so pretty. I loved it. And then I'm always looking for ways to use my Silly Safari set. And so I thought it's perfect way to use my Silly Safari set. And so for this one, I used one of the Spotlight on Nature circle dies. And mounted, I did my image on that and cut out a couple of the leaves from Silly Safari and then put my sentiment on a separate piece. So those are the 3 that I did. Let's see what I did inside. On the inside, on this one, I went ahead and stamped my leaves a couple of times inside. So 3 very different cards. Let me put them down here just a little bit. What do you think? Do you like that background as much as I do? Did you get yours finished, Kay? Yeah, I love it too. I got started making them and I thought, okay, you got to stop and work on something else. But I could have just gone for hours sitting here making this background to use. So you can use it with flowers. You don't have to have anything. You can use it with any kind of set, any kind of image or stamp set. You know, I thought about the birthday. What is that? What is that called? The beautiful birthday, or you know what I'm talking about. It's the birthday set. Is it this one? Yeah. Wildflower birthday. I thought about that, and I thought about some of the images in that. You know, it's got 2 sheets of die-cut images in it, and I thought, oh, those would make beautiful birthday cards. But anyway, well, I hope that you will, if you didn't do it with me, I hope you'll give it a try. And I hope you like it. So, I will be back on again next Thursday, Stampin' Thursday, and we'll probably, I'm not sure if I'll case the catalog or go with the sketch. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I've got my granddaughter, who is a nursing student at Texas A&M, is here visiting with us this weekend. So I just needed to get ready for today and finish my Bible study so that I could devote my time to her while she's here. So I haven't really looked to next week yet, but I will come up with something, and I hope you'll join me back for Stampin' Thursday, next Thursday at 10 o'clock. Thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for doing that. And if you're on YouTube, I'm so appreciative of my YouTube followers. And if you will just click like and subscribe, that would just, that would mean the world to me. And leave me a comment. If you have a question, be sure and leave a comment. Ask me your question. I try to get back to everybody. All right. You have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.